Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to some EVE Online. Welcome also to sisi, the test server for EVE Online, where CCP is holding another mass test. This one is on October 10th, and it's with very low numbers, only around 50 people in local. The reason for that is that apparently the devs that are in charge of putting up news items and the like are still probably underway from Vegas. So we are going to do this one with a pretty small group, only around 50 people. We are ordered to jump. Let's do that. Of course, we should expect pretty decent performance, and that's also exactly what they're testing. So we get a classical jump, nothing too drastic to report here, and FPS is right back at 60. Local is coming up, 35, 36. So very slowly we are going to get there. After that, I think we were meant to go to like a Tatara, watch it blow up a chunk and restart a new chunk so that we could take a look at the animations there and see if everything works out. Are my graphics, let's take a quick look at that actually. Oh yeah, there we go. Stuff is still... We're gonna put everything on high this time. Shadow quality, let's put this on high. Let's press apply. Zip, there we go. Align to the mass test Tatara. We can definitely do that without too much trouble. I did see a Moloch in the previous system. Yep, there it is. Pretty damn cool. Look at that. And I myself am this time sporting a nice skin. Warp to the mass test. Alright, we'll do a warp within 10. Let me show you guys the skin here. Crimson Harvest YC118. Look at that. Looks pretty good. In fact, I think it looks better than Gold Iron. So off we go. I also grabbed 5 mining drones just so that we could do some mining on the chunk if that was requested. And I don't think we have to shoot it right away, so let's be patient a little bit here. And if we go up, normally we can see the warp to the Tatara, watch the moonshine explosion, optional start mining, watch a new extraction being started. Exactly. So that's what we're gonna do here. Could be interesting, of course, from the perspective of how ready the client and the patch are for the expansion. It's coming in like 2 weeks, so it is pretty important, of course, that we start to get a handle on things. And this is maybe also a good opportunity for me to talk a little bit about my personal plans. So we are not going to move anymore. Because at Vegas, CCP announced that moon mining would come to would come to HiSec, but only for 0.5 systems, and the TAL is a 0.5 system, so I think that basically my best option is going to be to not move at this point. Let's see if we can target. Target is still invulnerable. Alright, so it's still in an invulnerability cycle at the moment as the rest of the fleet lands here. And of course the tactical camera, this is pretty damn awesome. With 51 in local, we are not going to get to any trouble, I don't think. So again, let's also take a good look. Oh, there's a venture right in the middle of the of the chunk. That's that looks pretty cool actually. It's actually flying vertically up the chunk of the moon that has been dragged out, and then at the back there you can now see the Tatara. Yeah, very, very nice. So thank you, Lelouch O'Neilly. That's actually a very nice perspective, to be honest. That looks pretty cool. Let's press control. So you really have this, from this perspective, if you didn't know that it's a chunk that's been blasted off, you really have this perspective that you've got a ship that is in orbit or something like that around the moon. Very, very cool. I'm activating the moon drill now, so let's get out of this a little bit, and then let's maybe take this perspective so that we have the fleet as well. So laser loading up. Let's maybe do it like this. Drilling in the chunk, and then the chunk actually explodes. very cool. Very nice. And after that, this time we should have a good distance to warp. Oh, and the chunks are a lot better here. That's the first thing that I noticed. Previously, a lot of the chunks were a lot smaller than this. Now they're at 200 kilometers. So let's do a warp within 0.
Warp drive active.
And who the hell is landing here? Oop, the Serpentis are also coming to take a look at what's happening here. Serpentis Captain Sentry. Let's see if we can go back into this view. And if we can take a look at what those guys are planning to do. Stealing some of the ores here? No, they're warping right on top of the Tatara, surprisingly enough. So there you go. Okay, very, very interesting. Very nice in my opinion. This makes it look a hell of a lot more like this has just been blasted to pieces and is actually a part of the... let's get the mining drones out of here. Press... mine repeatedly, and like this is a part of that moon here. Makes a lot more sense. Feel free to shoot the rats, so they're doing that right there. But yeah, in my opinion, this looks a hell of a lot better than previously, where all of them had like the smallest model possible. This looks like it belongs here. This is a part of that moon that has been blasted to pieces. Now all of them are slowly drifting away. They'll actually end up being quite far from one another. So that is probably a little bit of an disadvantage for drone mining. You can now see that I'm stationary, and then the chunk that I'm targeting 3,700, 3,800. So you're best off orbiting that, especially when you're early on. So let's do that, starting the next mining cycle now. So that means that the drill is firing off towards the moon here. And here I'm not sure if it's maybe because of the perspective or because it's a different moon, but this looks a lot more realistic in scale here. So what's happening on the surface of the moon is a lot smaller than I think on the previous mass test. It may just be it's either our position or it's the position of the station compared to the moon, or maybe it's the moon itself that's a lot bigger here. But this makes a lot more sense to me as they're blowing out the chunk. And after that we should probably get a tractor beam going. Let's take a quick look at the ore hold. That is full by now, so we can return those guys. We get some sylvite. And then let's see. Yeah, the tractoring is beginning. So let's see if I can go there with the camera. There you go. The next chunk is being tractored out. This is a lot more... it's probably still way too big, but it feels a lot more reasonable in scale here. So this was definitely a very nice perspective in my opinion, because now it's a tiny dot in the far distance that's gonna get tractored all the way over here, and then it gets blasted into pieces into these chunks of ores. Very nice. And so as I've said, this is this should also come to HiSec, but only for 0.5 systems in a Q1 of 2018. And am I going to be able to target that? Nope, not yet. So let's also put this up so that we can keep an eye on the FPS. But this seems to be functional, and this is definitely a big upgrade to last time when it comes to the graphics of all of the ores here, the belt that's being created. Not sure the explosion and everything, that seemed pretty much in line with what we saw previously, but yeah, looking pretty good. Let's see, can I warp to him? Because I think our next step is going to be to fire at the Tatara. There you go. It's actually put in reinforce mode, which is also changing. So Eve Vegas, yeah, lots of news coming out of that, with the shield timer that will now be vulnerable 24 hours. And then if you don't have services running, you will also not have an armor timer on your structures anymore. So it's going to be quite interesting. And now we are meant to shoot at the Tatara, so let's get to doing that. Am I being pushed away or anything? No, but I am sitting inside the Moloch, so I think I'll just grab the ogres. And then when CCP intervenes with dev hacks, we'll just recall them. So next up, we're shooting at the Tatara. Local is at 55, and so now FPS is actually holding quite nicely at like 60 FPS. So that's pretty good. We can also go right in there. So that looks okay to me. Let's see if we can take a close look at the Tatara with all of the parts being shot by all of the different weapon systems that the fleet has. And now we can turn around. There is the fleet. Oop, 2 Titans on 55 people. That's not so bad. And everybody's firing off in different angles. This is something that I like a hell of a lot more. Now they're basically firing all over the structure. We're actually reaching the damage cap as well from time to time, which is pretty impressive for such a small group. Yep, there you go. CCP Habakkuk is saying the exact same thing. I like how we're not all shooting at a single point anymore now. Even the battlecruiser over here has this spread out fire pattern. I like it. I definitely feel like that looks pretty damn cool. You can clearly see now that the fleet is firing at lots and lots of different places here. So yeah, damage cap is definitely reached. So I'm actually gonna return the ogre so that we have them for the final part of the test. We still have a couple miners back there doing a little bit of mining as we are reloading. And then we're gonna launch missiles again as well. Let's maybe take a quick look at the miners, see if there's anything here that that stands out. Here are harvester mining drones. Okay, that's the regular ones. Do we have excavator? Yeah, there we go. I was wondering if we have one of the big guys running. Yes, we do. And yeah, he's heading. The damage cap of the Tatara is like 50k DPS. And so here now we have this excavator mining drone that is slowly heading towards its home, which is here. In fact, his whole fleet is pretty cool. Based on rogue drone tech, these excavators are pretty nice looking, albeit decently expensive. What are these guys over here, man? This is less hectic and gives us a bit of a chance to look around a little bit more and take a good look at everything that's happening. So here we get a flight of Templar 2s that are also firing at the Tatara. So let's see if we can, god damn it, miss them. There they are. So we want to take a good look at you. But then at the meantime, we also want to keep the Tatara in view. So we can take a look at your shots.
Our module has run out of charges.
Again. Alright. So nice formation flying. Not easy to keep a close eye. Ah, there we go. And look at that again. Very spread out pattern. And there we go. This one is now down to 6%, thanks to CCP dev hacks, of course. And anything else of interest that could be interesting. Maybe taking a good look at these guns. Still a little bit of a jerky motion towards their hard points. So that is... There you go. Now you can clearly see that the hard point was switched to one that's like on the other side of the Tatara, and then they jerk into position. That is maybe the one thing that I don't like about the new animations. It's how jerky that one is. But I definitely prefer the general look of this battle with munitions and lasers flying all over the place here. So we'll take it. Managing to hold at 60 FPS. Let's again add a couple missiles in there. And I'm standing pretty still, so let's see if I can... Oops. Is it getting wrecked? Looks like it. Which is a little strange. Target is invulnerable. Of course, we were taking out the armor and now it's invulnerable. As soon as it reinforces, the extraction in progress will be cancelled. Ah, that's what we were doing. And the chunk will explode. Fortunately, we missed that. Without leaving asteroids. And now you can see that these guys are still spreading out to a decently wide area. So now it's either reinforced again. Let's see if the idea is that we shoot it again. Yeah, shoot the structure again. This time I'm just gonna deploy the guards. Press F. And all of this, well, it is with 55 people, but it is pretty stable. So I do like the fact that I can fly around the entire battlefield, take a nice look at everything. So over here, for instance, we could try to grab a really nice look of some of the guns on the Hyperion. Love the shadows as well. And then we've got some guns right at the front here. And again with the jerky motion. It's the one thing that I don't like so much. But other than that, yeah, pretty damn good. So here we've got lovely shadows that these ships create with the star in the background. And here we've got the massive Moloch. That's also creating that really big shadow. Pretty cool stuff. Let's zoom out a little bit. Maybe go and take a quick look at what the miners are still doing over there. What have we got here? Orca. Rorcal. Who's got ogres on the test. Alright, there we go. So all we've got is some mining drones over here. Which, let's see if we can get a close look at the asteroid they are mining. I feel like this fits quite alright with the moon chunk that gets tractored. So HP reduced by def hacks again, lost few percentages. Let's see if it blows up in good fashion. Is it an M or an L? It looks like it's an L. You can spot that from the overhang above the undock. This part is the biggest difference between the M and the L. And so I'm going for an M in Dital. It's going to basically replace the reprocessing facility of the Astra who's there. Since normally we'll get the rig back. And then that, oops, let's take a look at it from fleet perspective this time. Okay, definitely, well, I would say 90% sure that this has changed a little bit as well. It feels more violent and a bit faster maybe. And do I lack missiles? No, I still do have some missiles in here. Okay. Let's go. So we're holding pretty well. This baby blows up in a blinding flash of light, and that's what it looks like zoomed out. Drone scooped. Normally we head to Poitot at this point, so let's start aligning. Fleet W straight into jumping. All right. Let's do that.
Active.
And oh, the wreck. That's the wreck right there. As we take off with the fleet and the belt in the background. Not bad. So yeah, that's the a big difference between 50-60 people and 300 to 500 people. With 50-60 people, none of this has budged at all. I'm actually pretty impressed with this. I felt super confident in all the camera motions. This just stayed at 60 FPS without any problems. No big lag spikes or anything like that. So to me, that looks like a pretty positive sign so far. And then let's see what happens in the fight. We have 20 people, they have 2 titans, so I think it's going to be pretty obvious what's going to happen here. Maybe a quick note then that we can of course also use the agency now with the new stuff. Last time that I was here, I was trying to find some, so let's do range any distance and then specify the resource wars. Let's see. Any corp, any tier, and then it's still giving me asteroid belts. Alright, filter results again. Returns no results. So I'm not exactly sure what's happening with the filters here. It could be because I'm in nullsec, and or that it's only per, for a region or something like that, but it would be really cool if it would basically, you would then choose like Galente, and it would then show you everything that's available in Galente space. But maybe that's like too much data being bounced around or something like that. So I'm not exactly sure what we should do here. You can always go for suggested, of course, and then you'll find stuff nearby. But yeah, those resource war sites, I have to say, it took me jumping in the system itself, and then the filters worked, or you could see them on the overview. So I don't know, hopefully they fix that a little bit, that stuff becomes decently easy to find. We'll see. So next up, let's unload the guards, or maybe, yeah, let's try the guards here. Let's set up our little blasting station. And then maybe I could try orbiting these guys as well. Let's orbit at 2500 and then just see if we can spot something at a good optimal, like 20-30 kilometers, something like that. The fleet, are they saying anything? Nope, still only that. Fleet X is holding. Local is at 19 out of 20 members. Not bad, not bad discipline. Fleet W is pretty awesome. So we got a couple. Oh, actually the Moloch is in here and he's not willing to risk it, I think. Makes sense. It's not that easy to get a Titan on CC, and so you know, if you're planning to do more stuff with it, you don't always wanna break it in on the first mass test here, or on this part of the mass test. So we got a couple dreadnoughts. But we'll see what happens next. SCP Antiquarian is in a Crusader. He's actually being targeted, so let's also target him a little bit. See what happens there. And then we have all combat is now allowed. Okay, let's see if we can spot a primary for us that we could. We're not gonna just target all the CCP guys. Oh, and he's gonna be invulnerable, I think, considering that none of that is budging. So we've got a Vexor Navy issue here at 18 kilometers and a Magus as well. Let's see if there's anything we can do. Ooh, Doomsday's firing right off the bat. Let's see how Kenshin Hima in the Vexor Navy issue likes this treatment. Well, it's got quite a bit of shield on that, and if I'm not mistaken, they have fax as well, so they might be able to rep as well. And my guards are missing. That's interesting. Just at 15 kilometers, and my guards are missing. Now he's gonna move away from us a little bit, so he's taking a bit more damage. Let's see if we can approach him. Activate this, but yeah. This is combat with 50 people. It's just not budging right now. What is targeting me? A Nidhogger. Alright, we definitely want to move then. Try to get some movement in. And then let's see if he takes damage. I don't think so. And Macariel is targeting me as well. We are half shields. So I wasn't planning to stick along too long anyways. So I would say that this is actually okay. So let's activate this. We'll want to overload. We've got a big bad guy firing at us, and he's actually repping back here as well. Let's see if we can... Ooh, he actually took a big hit there all of a sudden at 30 kilometers. Let's see if we can hit the Macariel a bit while we try to rep. And then let's see. Kind of firepower comes. Ooh, that's pretty cool actually. lots of laser fire. That is actually pretty damn cool. Macariel is out of shields, but I am running out of armor as well, and so we've got fighters on us too. Lots of stuff. Luckily we're pretty close to the gate, as we're getting burned down in structure. And there we go. There she blows. Very nice. 60 FPS here. Look at that. On high graphics. Doesn't budge at all. Pretty good. Let's orbit this at 500. And then let's see if we can maybe spot some cool stuff. Some other cool stuff. Here we get the Pilgrim. Can we go look at him? Oh, that's just a Sino that's being targeted. Ooh. Nice big explosion up there. Another one. Holy crap. Pretty good. Let's see what else is here. Oh, the Moloch is back. He's actually... Not sure exactly what they're targeting. And here we've got the Ragnarok. Firing at, let's see here, yeah, firing at that Chemosh over there. Opening the channel now. If seen any bugs, of course we want to report that, but I have to say, while I'm being sent home here, that this went pretty smoothly, and it is of course only 50 people, but this was basically not budging at all. When it comes to client performance here. So I am pretty impressed with this. And who the hell is targeting me? A paladin is targeting me to send me home. Well, we'll let him... Oh, and we're actually getting reps then. Well, let him waste some firepower. That's better for a Fleet W that's still on the field. As... I think it just got blown up as well. That is pretty nice. Here's the Rorcal. That's still holding up. Whoa. Very cool. Doomsday. Dreadnought blowing up here, so... There you go, guys. I'm gonna stick around a little bit longer, but I guess that's gonna be it for this mass test. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time.